This evening, government welcomes new oil discovery at Lancet Fish 1. Domestic Violence Hotline received close to 4,000 calls in 2023, ministry reports. 60 residents of Linden identify house lots in Amelia's Ward Phase 4 housing development in the region. Ex-Brazil President Bolsonaro appears before police in riot probe. And internationally, U.S. nuclear subs to dock in South Korea to deter Pyongyang, Biden. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for April 27, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the Ministry of Natural Resources in Guyana has announced a new oil discovery offshore in the Stabroek block called Lancet Fish 1. The discovery marks the 39th oil find in the block and brings the total offshore discoveries to 44. The Lancet Fish 1 well was drilled in 5,843 feet of water and discovered approximately 92 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone located about 4 miles southeast of the Fangtooth discovery. The government of Guyana has welcomed this discovery and commended the Stabroek Block Consortium, comprising ESSO Exploration and Production Guyana Limited, Hess Corporation, and China National Offshore Oil Corporation. Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat has reaffirmed the government's commitment to sustainable and prudent management of the hydrocarbon sector, ensuring that the benefits of Guyana's petroleum resources benefit all Guyanese. The government plans to prudently invest the revenue earned from the sector to transform the nation's social and economic landscape. The third and largest floating production, storage and offload vessel in Guyana's fleet, Prosperity, is expected to start up later this year, joining the current fleet of Liza Destiny and Liza Unity FPSOs, which currently produce 380,000 barrels of oil daily. The Ministry of Natural Resources will continue to work closely with its partners to ensure that all exploration and production activities in the Stabroek Block are conducted safely and economically. In other news, 60 residents of Linden, Region 10, have identified their house lots in the first block of the Amelia's Ward Phase 4 housing development. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell and Chief Executive Officer of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Sherwin Graves, led the house lot identification exercise. The government has distributed over 467 lots in Amelia's Ward, and infrastructure works are ongoing to enable individuals to identify their house lots. Minister Crowell stated that they had encountered challenges during the development process, including squatters obstructing a major roadway, but some were compensated and provided with alternative locations. The government has allocated nearly $4 billion for infrastructure development in Linden this year. Continuing on our coverage of Linden, the government has provided cement and steel subsidies to the first batch of 55 Linden residents to fast-track their journey in building new homes. The vouchers, valued at $225,000 each, were handing out during a ceremony at the Watuka Guest House, where 50 people received vouchers for 2 sinks of cement and 5 received coupons for cement and steel for their foundation. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell stated that the initiative would put back over $8 million into the Linden economy. The vouchers, valid for 6 months, are redeemable at 3 suppliers in the mining town. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali launched the program last year, and the government allocated $800 million this year to implement the program, targeting close to 3,000 prospective homeowners in the initial phase. Stick around when we return. GTT and OneSat launch connectivity anywhere, and Domestic Violence Hotline received close to 4,000 calls in 2023, the ministry reports.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold, and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you wanna know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radica went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a Guyana map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hey, this is your fancy vehicle and it's your house?
Yes, this is my vehicle and actually I'm waiting on my land. I'm actually renting this house for $50,000.
$50,000? You head more? You crazy? You mad? You head no good? Why you buy? Look, let me show you that light. Come with me.
Come on down to Fabulous Homes today. Pay $50,000 every month for 36 months or until you reach 50% of your house costs. Move in after 75% of the cost has been paid.
This is wonderful. Let's go. Sign me up.
Alright, let me go and dash away your landlord.
To explore our home ownership program, check our Facebook page for more information or come down to our office at Avalon Friendship.
Hey, Chinese, thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
You got through?
Yes.
Call us at 227-1380 or 615-8740. Fabulous Homes International Realty, changing tenants into homeowners.
At Fabulous Homes, we bring your dreams to life.
Welcome back. Domestic violence is a serious issue that continues to be a matter of grave concern for society. It affects people from all walks of life and has devastating consequences for individuals, families, and communities. Domestic violence involves a range of abusive behaviors, including physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. Victims of domestic violence often suffer from low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, and trauma, and their physical health can also be affected. It is essential to recognize the signs of domestic violence and to seek help if you or someone you know is experiencing abuse. Education, awareness, and prevention are vital in addressing this issue and creating a safe and healthy environment for all members of society. The Ministry of Human Services and Social Security has recently reported that the 914 toll-free domestic violence hotline has received 3,889 calls in 2023. Of those, 200 were related to sexual offenses or abuse, and 500 were related to school issues. The ministry has survivor advocates available to provide victims with support and temporary housing and legal pro bono services are also available to those who have experienced domestic violence. The ministry's Cop Squad 2000 initiative equips police officers with the necessary tools to respond to reports of domestic violence in a professional manner. The hotline is available to all persons, including migrants. The ministry aims to reduce the number of domestic violence cases in Guyana. In other news, Ghana's telephone giant GTT Incorporated and OneSat Networks, a Guyanese-owned internet service provider with a focus on providing satellite broadband connectivity to rural and hinterland areas, have partnered to launch a satellite internet service called Connectivity Anywhere, which aims to provide fast, affordable, and reliable connectivity to rural and hinterland areas in Guyana. The new service will enable the Ministry of Health to undertake numerous healthcare initiatives requiring connectivity, including telemedicine services, while facilitating distance learning and ongoing online teachers training for the Ministry of Education. The partnership between GTT and OneSat will provide much-needed connectivity to communities that are currently underserved and unserved. The service is expected to be available from July 2023, with pre-orders starting in May. Don't go way after the break. U.S. nuclear subs to dock in South Korea to deter Pyongyang, Biden. And Philippines-U.S. forces sink warship in South China Sea military drill.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is credit. And today, all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you wanna know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document planting flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a Guyana map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Hey, this is your fancy vehicle and that is your house?
Yes, this is my vehicle, and actually I'm waiting on my land. I'm actually renting this house for $50,000.
$50,000? You helbo? You crazy? You mad? You head no good? Why you buy? Look, let me show you the light. Come with me.
Come on down to Fabulous Homes today. Pay $50,000 every month for 36 months or until you reach 50% of your house costs. Move in after 75% of the cost has been paid.
This is wonderful. Let's go. Sign me up.
Alright, let me go and dash away lang.
To explore our home ownership program, check our Facebook page for more information or come down to our office at Avalon Friendship.
Hey, Chinese, thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
You got to look.
Yes.
Call us at 227-1380 or 615-8740. Fabulous Homes International Realty, changing tenants into homeowners.
At Fabulous Homes, we bring your dreams to life.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has testified to federal police about his conduct around the January 8th attack on government buildings by his supporters in the capital of Brasilia following his election loss. Al Jazeera's Monica Yanhu reports.
Former President Jair Bolsonaro testified for almost 3 hours. He's being investigated by Brazil's federal police for allegedly instigating the January 8th attacks on government buildings. But he denied any wrongdoing.
Bolsonaro has strongly condemned these attacks and any attempt against Brazil's democracy.
On January 8th, Bolsonaro's supporters stormed the presidential palace, Congress, and the Supreme Court. They called on the military to oust President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who had taken office a week before. Bolsonaro is being accused of laying the grounds for the riots by repeatedly making unfounded claims that Brazil's voting system should not be trusted, and for crying out fraud even before Lula defeated him in last year's election. On January 10th, he shared a post on his Facebook casting doubts on the electoral results. His lawyers told the police he had done so by mistake while recovering from an intestinal occlusion in an American hospital in Orlando, and while being sedated.
This post was published unintentionally. The proof is that as soon as he was warned, 2 or 3 hours later he took the post down.
Bolsonaro flew to the United States in December before ending his term. Since his return to Brazil 3 months later, he has been the target of several investigations.
But investigations are far from over. Brazil's Congress has just announced it's launching a parliamentary inquiry into the January 8th riots. Monica Yanaki of Al Jazeera, Brasilia, Brazil.
United States President Joe Biden and South Korea President Yoon Suk-yeol have pledged to strengthen deterrence against North Korea, including sending nuclear-armed U.S. submarines and other military assets to South Korea. Al Jazeera's Kimberly Hackett reports.
A show of military strength and might as U.S. President Joe Biden welcomes South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol at the White House. The state visit is designed to reaffirm decades of military cooperation between the two nations and project deterrence in the face of stepped-up missile testing by North Korea that has in recent years shown little interest in talks of denuclearization.
Look, a nuclear attack by North Korea against the United States or its allies or partisans or partners is unacceptable and will result in the end of whatever regime were to take such an action.
The two leaders signed a new plan known as the Washington Declaration to expand nuclear deterrence in the region through joint exercises, even though South Korea is officially a non-proliferation country. For the first time in 40 years, U.S. nuclear submarines will be positioned in South Korea as part of the declaration. For its part, Seoul has committed to not developing its own nuclear weapon, instead remaining under the nuclear umbrella of the United States. And while the two leaders insist their alliance is strong, there are lingering tensions following the unintended release earlier this month of Pentagon documents showing the United States was spying on Seoul.
We need time to wait for the investigation by the United States, and we plan to continue to communicate on the matter.
At their joint Rose Garden press conference, just one day after announcing he was running for re-election, Biden also dodged questions about his age going into the 2024 presidential election. At age 80, he's the oldest president in U.S. history to run for a second term.
I took a hard look at it before I decided to run. And I feel good. I feel excited about the prospects.
Well, President Biden may dismiss questions about his age and fitness as commander-in-chief. It does present a problem for this White House, hoping to project strength and deterrence to a nuclear foe, while reassuring American allies like South Korea. Kimberly Helkett, Al Jazeera, the White House.
Samsung Electronics has reported its...
And finally, Philippines and U.S. troops have sunk a decommissioned Navy ship in waters near South China Sea. It was part of this year's Balikatan War Games, the largest edition of the annual joint exercises. Al Jazeera's Barnaby Liu reports.
1, 2, 5 rockets fired into the sea. Target: a decommissioned Philippine Navy vessel, 22 kilometers from where a U.S. HIMARS launched the missiles. Air and naval assets reinforced ground artillery. The ship sinking exercise was a first for the annual war games known as Balikatan, which means shoulder to shoulder. And the Philippine president himself, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., was there to witness history.
The president watched the exercise and he understands the challenges that is entailed in doing a combined operation at this level. And from that, the appreciation of the president is what we came out with.
The mock enemy ship was anchored in waters close to the South China Sea, where Manila and Beijing have competing claims. But officials say the sinking exercise wasn't directed at China.
The message is not geared toward anything outside of the strong relationship and bond with the Philippines.
Beijing had earlier warned that increased defense cooperation between Manila and its allies should not interfere in maritime disputes.
This year's Balikatan joint drills between the Philippines and the United States aren't just the biggest, with around 17,600 troops participating. They're also taking place amid heightened tensions over Taiwan and the territorial disputes in the South China Sea.
Adding to the unrest, Marcos granting U.S. forces access to 4 more military bases, in addition to 5 approved under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement signed in 2014. 3 of them are near Taiwan.
The size, the number, the magnitude of Balikatan was conceptualized in 2022, so it was only executed now. But we do appreciate yung coincidence in terms of how it's being conducted now with respect to other developments, particularly our foreign policy posture is being reshaped under current administration under President Marcos.
After more than 6 hours of coordinated hits, guided bombs dropped by a U.S. Marine fighter jet sank the ship. Victory in a simulated battle, one both armies hope will never become a reality. Barnaby Liu, Al Jazeera, Zambales, the Philippines.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV2 headline news for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and tomorrow afternoon at 5:30 for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.